I'm assuming that all of you watching this video have seen the 2 videos that I recently made on the Suncross. Go watch those if you haven't. The reason I mentioned those videos is because I briefly mention and quote Kaide, the Drowned Light. Kaide, as I'm sure some of you know, is the former king of Constellia, which was a city in the stars. Now it's been abandoned. Kaide, who now resides in Layer 2, was largely useless up until recently. I mean, he had some dialogue, but it was basically nonsense flavor text. However, everyone's favorite developer, Natoons, recently revisited Kaide, giving him some visual touch-ups and full dialogue trees of new lore. This isn't weak dialogue either. This is the good stuff. In fact, it's vital for understanding a very important part of Deepwoken lore that's very infrequently discussed. The fall of the heavens, the creation of the Lightborn, and the descent of the Celestials to the surface. Remember to subscribe, it takes you 1 second and it'll be done forever. Let's shoot for 20k so I can be a billionaire and we can all have infinite lore videos. Thank you in advance. Hi guys, morning Hermes here. Just wanted to say that I'll be uploading every day for the next 30 days, so just get excited or something. I don't know, I give up. Now, in case you haven't been told, the world of Deepwoken consists of 2 realms. Lumen, which is the overworld we play through in-game, and the Heavens, the realm in the sky that formerly belonged to the Celestials. Now abandoned, the Heavens have been left to rot. Why? Well, you'll have to seek out Kaide, the Drowned Light, to find out why. You'll encounter Kaide in the bowels of the second layer. Deep within New Kirsa, Kaide sits upon his rock, awaiting his fate. Ugh, you make a lot of noise. Are you here simply to disturb my meditation, Surface Dweller? What are you? A distinct lack of manners? Though it's not like I'm surprised. I suppose my people do not often touch the surface to make contact with your kind. I am Lightborn, child of man and celestial. Child of man and celestial? A hybrid, you might say? Our creators had hoped to bring our disparate peoples together and combine our strengths. Our bodies were enhanced by a hybrid vigor, unyielding to age or to ailment. Our minds, well, many of us ended up just as clueless and as arrogant as the templates we were created from. There are few of us now, as we cannot bear our own kin. Who are you? I was once ruler of a place known as Constellia, a gleaming city of light that you surface dwellers often referred to as the guiding star. We knew it as the Celestial's last gift. It was left in the hands of my forebearers and passed to me. Unknown to me, I was to be the last king. The Kirsens under Etheron's will found a way to invade and took me prisoner, and now your skies lay dark, unable to be navigated, and here I sit until eternity ends. How did they reach your city? Isn't this place beneath the surface? No, the depths is far more sinister and cunning than a horde that simply emerges from the sea. This realm is but one part of the all-encompassing maw of the depths. I do not know this for certain, but you've seen the ruins here, no? They aren't of human or celestial make. I have a suspicion that the realms we call layers of the depths with their strange environments may well be worlds that were consumed far before Lumen ever existed. How do you know all of this? I have been alive far longer than any living member of your kind, save for some of your Immortals. Our forebears were once soldiers in the war to fight back the depths, but when the Celestials fled, so too did our morale, our will to fight. Those of my people that still reside in these skies above the surface merely wait in fear of their prophesied doom. Immortals? Yes, you don't know of them? You surface dwellers have always been a secretive lot, also suspicious and paranoid. I imagine if they're still alive, then they no doubt occupy positions of power within your world. Behind the scenes, though, I should think. What did the Celestials have to gain from all of this? Aren't they gods? What a web they've spun around you. We thought they were gods too, once, but perception changes quickly when they alone are the architects of your suffering. Now, there's a ton to get through here. For starters, we learned that Kaide is a Lightborn. Something that's incredibly obvious if you just, well, look at him. But he informs us of what a Lightborn actually is. A child of man and celestial. The godlike Celestials, in some attempt to bridge a relationship between their race and mankind, created the Lightborn, a perverse fusion of human and celestial. While it looks like the Lightborn developed immunity to both the effects of age and illnesses, Kaide confirms that the Lightborn unfortunately inherited the negative traits of humankind as well. Namely arrogance. The Lightborn that do remain can't even stand one another. Hence, it looks like the Celestials abandoned the whole Lightborn project, likely deeming it a failed mission, and it looks as if they chose to leave most Lightborn clueless as to the world's major truths. The Celestials clearly felt like they couldn't trust their new children. Besides the Lightborn, there's still an immense amount of dialogue to tackle here. We learned that Kaide was once the king of Constellia, a city of light that humans called the Guiding Star. However, the Lightborn knew of Constellia as the Celestials' last gift, and it was left in the hands of Kaide's forebearers, who we can assume were the past kings of Constellia. The Kirsens eventually invaded and brought Kaide into the second layer for eternity, but that's far from the important part here. If Constellia was known as the Celestials' last gift long before the Kirsens invaded, that means that the Celestials had departed long before the remaining inhabitants of the heavens were brought down by Etheron. To make it clear, Etheron and his band of Kirsen grunts did not bring down the Celestials. The Celestials had fled long before Etheron's invasion. However, this presents us with a different question entirely. Why? Why did the Celestials abandon the heavens and flee to Lumen for seemingly no reason? Well, we have no clue. Your guess is as good as mine, but Kaide does mention one last thing of importance before leaving us to our own devices: Lumen's Immortals. Who are our Immortals exactly? The Deepwoken. Kaide states that they're occupying positions of power in the shadows, and come to think of it, we've recently learned of another Deepwoken alongside Pleaxty and the First Prophet. Just who could these Immortals be? Here's your TLDR. Kaide, the former king of Constellia, now resides in the second layer. Kaide was fairly recently revisited by Natuns and granted new dialogue. The Lightborn are fusions between human and celestial DNA, unable to age and immune to illness, but they also inherited human hubris and cannot stand one another. The Celestials likely quickly abandoned the Lightborn venture entirely. Constellia was known as the Celestials' last gift. Kirsens under the command of Etheron invaded Constellia. The Celestials had long since abandoned the heavens by the time Etheron's army invaded, leaving us to question why they left the heavens behind. Kaide name drops our Immortals, those being the Deepwoken, and insinuates that there are more we do not know of. That's all from me. Like and subscribe for more lore updates. Bye. I lied. There's one last part of Kaide's speech that requires our attention, his monologue about the depths. Allow me to harken back to his exact words. I do not know this for certain, but you've seen the ruins here, no? They aren't of human or celestial make. I have a suspicion that the realms we call layers of the depths, with their strange environments, may well be worlds that were consumed far before Lumen ever existed. All that you know about the depths is a lie. Naturally, someone has to break the spell. If I don't, who will? Please subscribe. Oh my god.